Not wild about the cultural Not wild. What? What does that even mean? Not wild about the cultural change? You're not wild about the fact that it's not cartoons living in a cartoon world? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a new video. So a long time ago, I used to do a series on my YouTube channel called Criticizing Bad Yelp Reviews, and me and Tracy are getting ready to start a podcast venture of doing reviews of reviews, and so I thought I would also do occasionally some stuff on my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be reviewing bad reviews. I was going to call it criticizing, but then I thought, why not do, like, you're reviewing stuff, so I'm going to review your review, and that's what we're going to do today. So today I'm going to actually take a look at Aladdin reviews from 2019. I just recently watched that. Me and Tracy watched that, and so I thought this would be a good thing to open up with reviewing that because there's a lot of negative reviews on it. And after watching the movie, I'm not 100% sure why, so I'm anxious to see what people have to say about that. So I want to get into that. I'm not here from a defense standpoint. If you don't like Aladdin, I don't really care. Just like if you like Aladdin, I don't really care because it's movies, man. People like what they like and like what they don't like. I just think that movie reviews specifically is very hip in mentality. Everybody hates everything. I just want to kind of peruse through some of these, kind of see what people are complaining about, see if I can relate to any of it. I'm going to basically be doing it kind of like a review system. Like, I'm going to look at the review and I'll talk about the stuff I agree and the stuff that I disagree, and I'll hopefully kind of do it from an impartial standpoint. Maybe you can see where I'm coming from, and maybe I can see where you're coming from. So if you want me to do any more of these, let me know down below. If you have a specific movie that you want me to do reviews for, or anything like that, feel free. Also, you can follow me on any social media. It's at Seabolt TV. That's all my social media now. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is just at Seabolt TV. So you can also send me messages or drop me reviews, send me pictures of reviews, whatever. And I will put those in videos, and keep an eye out for that podcast coming out soon. So anyway, let's get into Aladdin. Aladdin 2019. While the first half is just a shot-for-shot recreation of the original and it fails to create any sort of chemistry between the two leads, it still is mildly entertaining, and the cinematography is surprisingly great. But the second half is where the movie takes a full dive into stupidity. It becomes a cliched mess, the pacing becomes extremely inconsistent, the cinematography becomes bland, the dance choreography is generic, and it overstays its welcome pretty hard. However, there were some surprises. Will Smith, Naomi Scott, and Marwan Kenzari, who played the genie, Jasmine and Jafar, respectively, also bring great performances. I was really confused as to what he was talking about there. My main issue with this is the way that this reads, you love the original Aladdin a lot, and that's cool. Aladdin's actually the first movie I saw in theaters, or that I remember seeing in theaters. My issue with this is, if you love the original Aladdin, you say that the first half of this movie is a shot-for-shot remake, and then you say that it doesn't build any chemistry between the two leads. That would also mean that the original didn't have any chemistry between the two leads, because it's a shot-for-shot remake. Now, to go for your point and maybe word it a little better, this isn't a shot-for-shot remake. There are definitely some very, very close and similar sequences, but there is actually a lot more, in my opinion, there's a lot more interaction between Aladdin and Jasmine in the first half of the movie than there is in the cartoon. So I'm going to disagree with you on that. It sounds like with what you're saying, you may actually like the remake better than the cartoon, because what you're complaining the remake doesn't have, it has more than the cartoon, at least in the first half of the movie. As far as it becoming a cliched mess, that also doesn't make any sense, because it's a freaking remake, and it's the same freaking story. I don't know. That's all I've got. Not enough time in this world to explain how bad this movie was. At least I can say Will Smith tried to save this movie. Okay, the main reason that I have this on here is because this is someone who's just, oh, look how cool I am by hating the new thing. Because just, if you don't like it, give me one example of what you didn't like about it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't like this movie. I'm not saying that you can't like this movie, because whatever, I don't really care what you think. You are free to think whatever you want. That's the cool thing about being alive. I don't agree just that you're like, oh, this movie sucks. Okay, well, cool, why? Nope, I'm out. Just tell me what you don't like about it. Do you actually not like it, or do you secretly own a copy of this and watch it every couple of days in your basement? I would just like to know. It's a meh. Storyline is not that good. The original is far better. What the It's the same story. Like, it's a little bit different. like there's definitely some changes. Spoiler alert, like Jasmine, if you've not seen it, you may want to stop watching, but like Jasmine wants to become the Sultan, and I get that that's different than the original, but like I mean, it's the same story. It's Aladdin, dude. Most characters are dull except for Smith. I'll disagree, but that's your opinion, so I'm okay with that. Hope they did a better job 95% based on the original story. It felt like empty. All right. Yeah, same story. I don't know what you're complaining about. As a movie, terrible cast, terrible acting, characters felt out of place, mediocre singing, and bad timing. Definitely a B movie. As a remake, some ties to the original, but too many changes. Some ties to the original? These people, dude. Felt like a different story. Disney should be ashamed. So as far as a movie, terrible cast, that's perfectly validated. Terrible acting, that's completely opinion-based, so I'm fine with that. I'll allow it. Characters felt out of place. I don't really know how. It was like Middle Eastern descendant people in the Middle East, except for Will Smith, but he's a genie, so not really sure. But again, whatever. Mediocre singing, again, that's completely based on preference. And bad timing. I don't really know what you mean by that. I thought the acting, for the most part, was pretty solid. I didn't really have any issues with that. But again, that also is preference. Definitely a B movie. You have no clue what a B movie is. This is not a B movie. Regardless of whether or not you like it or not, doesn't make it a B movie. You have no idea what a B movie is. As a remake, some ties to the original, but too many changes. No. It's the same movie. There's a little bit, not too many changes. There's some changes. An additional character. Things might be a little bit different, but it's the same idea. Felt like a different story. That's the stupidest thing I've read so far. Disney should be ashamed. They're probably not. They made a bunch of money off this movie. Like a whole bunch of money off this movie. So I doubt they are ashamed at all. If I had to describe this entire movie into one word, it would be, and then you spelled the word boring. And it's spelled because you hyphenated it, and that's all right. Cause this movie is that. Not only is this a remake of the original Aladdin, but it seems to ruin it and make it unenjoyable. You can't say that this movie is boring and then say that it's... The plot goes along so slow and skips over certain aspects of the original that made it as good as it was. I'm not opposed to you saying that. I would just love to know an example as to what you're talking about, because just watching the movie myself, I have no idea what you're talking about. Nothing was left out at all that I can think of that would have made this any more enjoyable. The songs are droll and the performances were forgettable at best. But you took the time to write a giant scathing review online. The only good thing about this movie is the first act of it. The others are excruciatingly bad and terrible. I don't understand, man. Like, it's a movie, and you're like, this movie sucks. It's a direct remake of the original. All right. I don't know, man. Again, don't take this the wrong way. Like, again, movie, it's all opinion based, because my defending it, and I'm not even defending it because I think it's the greatest movie ever made. It's just I love kind of trying to pick through and see what people are, because so much of negativity is just a status thing. Look how cool I am, man. I hate this. But like, I don't know, man. I don't understand the ideas of, I don't know. I don't get it. They took everything that made Aladdin in 1992 magical and ruined it. I don't know what you mean. The new plot was a mess. Dude, we have to chill with the plot thing here, guys. It's the same movie. There's a little bit of differences, yes, but it's the same movie. Like, having a plot difference would be if you went to see Aladdin and then they started swimming in the sea and met Ariel. That would be a different movie. That would be a fully different plot. This is the same plot. The dude goes to the Cave of Wonders because some dude's like, yo, I want this lamp. He doesn't get it, so the dude in the cave gets it. He gets the wishes, blah, blah, blah. Jafar steals the lamp. It's the same movie. It's the same movie. A little bit of differences here and there. They get there a different way sometimes, and that's okay. Same movie. Once again, Disney proves that there is no point in remaking their classic movies. I'll allow it. Not because I think that this movie's terrible, but I'm all for originality. They always turn out worse, and this is no exception. I don't agree with any of that simply because people have this weird idea that you can remake something and it be better than the original, and you can't really take a story and it's very hard to be better than the original source material. You know what I mean? It's very, very hard to do that. I don't know what people are expecting. The few changes that are made, so remember all the reviews earlier talked about it's so different. And then this guy, of course, everybody, again, difference of opinion. The few changes that are made to make this version stand out against the original mostly all fall flat because there's very few changes. At least, again, in my opinion, this is all opinion based, but they all fall flat. I don't know, man. I mean, again, like I get what you're saying, but I would like a little bit of context as to what you're talking about because I didn't really think anything fell flat. Just watching it, I don't know. The main thing from this is that you think that the remake is going to be better. They always turn out worse. I mean, what did you expect, dude? You're thinking about something probably, I assume, as a child, from a child mentality. Nothing like. It's hard to judge anything against nostalgia because it's always going to win because it takes you back to a time when life was much simpler. So nothing will ever be better than something that you watched or experienced during that time. Very poorly made. I'll disagree, but again, I the beholder. Not funny, doesn't live up to the original, and doesn't stand as its own film, just unfunny. This is not true at all. And I'm not saying the funny part, and I'm not saying the doesn't live up to the original because those are all, perspective based. But the doesn't stand on its own. That doesn't make any sense because if this movie never gets a sequel and it's literally just dies with Aladdin, it is absolutely a standalone movie. Characters are introduced, an issue, a conflict is presented. There is a resolve. So this absolutely is a standalone movie. Disney keeps putting out this crap and it gets worse each time. Goes back to the thing I was saying about people thinking that remakes are going to be better than originals, especially when you're looking through nostalgia glasses. Please, Disney, save the industry of your stupidity. They're essentially the wealthiest company in the world, and they own literally everything, so it tarnished a once great company. Yes, a once great company. A company that was founded on movies that featured tons and tons of you know what, I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different thing. I wanted to like this review because it's from Sonic Fan 23 and I have a Sonic tattoo, but this is terrible. Has amusing elements, but overall is kind of a mess. Okay, that's all. It's your opinion, I'll allow it. Not wild about the new ending. I mean, man, it's kind of different. Okay, I'll allow it. It's different, but it's not. But I'll allow it. Not wild about the cultural shit. Not wild. What? What does that even mean? Not wild about the cultural change? You're not wild about the fact that it's not cartoons living in a cartoon world? That doesn't. Oh God, man. I know it's hard to. That's honestly, I will say that is the dumbest line I've read of a review since I read the review on the Ninja Turtles live action remake. That said that Michael Bay destroyed any realm of reality that this could actually happen. That is the dumbest thing I've read. I know it's hard to make a live action remake of a beloved animated classic, but you shouldn't do that anyway. I'll allow that. Completely allow that. I'm A-okay with it. And last but not least, honestly, I went in thinking this was going to be at least average, but it was somehow worse than the Beauty and the Beast remake. It's so unoriginal and bland. Couple of issues there. All right, let me get through this review first. Disney right now is just being lazy. They should make more new stories. So overall, I'm dreading the release of Lion King remake. I don't want Disney to kill their own best movie, in my opinion. So saying that it's worse than the Beauty and the Beast remake, again, whatever, I don't care, I'll allow it. That's completely perspective based. It's so unoriginal and bland. That doesn't make any sense at all because it's Aladdin. So as far as originality is concerned, then I guess you are right. However, Aladdin was based on something as well. The cartoon wasn't necessary. cartoon wasn't necessarily an original movie either, but I mean, I guess it was an original movie in the realms of Disney and what they did with it, but it's based on an old story. But I still don't. It's not unoriginal. I mean, it's unoriginal in the fact that it's a remake, but it's not unoriginal because it's Aladdin. It's probably what you went there to see anyway. So I don't really understand that. Disney right now is just being lazy. I'll disagree with that. I think that Disney, even though they're doing a lot of these remakes, they're still pumping out a lot of original content. And they're getting ready to launch that Disney web service. Actually, you know what? I'm going to backtrack that. I'll agree. Disney is being lazy. All they're pumping out right now is comic book movies and remakes. They do some other stuff occasionally, but you know what? I'm going to change that. I'll allow. You changed my mind. Megatdoor? You changed my mind on that. They should make more new stories. I'll agree with. So overall, I'm dreading their... Okay, yeah. So I will agree with, for the most part, all that, except for it's so unoriginal. It's a remake. I don't know what you're expecting. All right, guys, and that is it. That is going to be the first one of reviewing your reviews. I guess that's what I'm going to call it. I don't really know what I'm going to call it. I have to figure out something like that. But, yeah, that is it. So if you have a movie or anything like that you want to see me review, leave it down below, and I will get to that. And, yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.